Welcome everyone to Mystics Pregame. We got Cardo W. Jr. joining us. I'm Wilson Tarpey Jr. And before we get started, just a reminder, get over to thefocusedp.com so you stay up to date with everything we have going on, including Mystics Pregame and Mystics Outlook for the latest episodes of this show to our 24/7 live feed that airs on our channel and also on our channel on Roku and Amazon Fire TV devices, along with our website. That feed is free for you guys to access at any time as well. And that typically plays like our most recent 20 shows as a whole. Also, news interviews available up on the website as well. But Cardell, Washington returns home after those two games out west against the Aces. They dropped both of those. They're hosting the Sparks tonight. The Mystics are now 19-14. The Sparks come in with a record of 12-21, having lost their last three games after beating Minnesota 89-82. The Mystics have fallen to 7th in the league standings, but they're 4th in the East, sitting a full game behind the now 6th-seeded New York Liberty. The injury report. The Mystics have no injuries to report, which is great. The Sparks have listed Cameron Brink questionable and Monique Okowa-Makani as out. Cardell, you mentioned like way back near the All-Star break how important it would be for Washington to show up against the top teams, which is to be expected for the second part of the season, but even more important for them to handle business against teams at the opposite end of the standings. So what are the keys to a Mystics victory tonight and getting back on the winning side of things?
Get more balance as far as executing offensively and scoring the ball. They have to get back to that. Pretty much in Vegas, it was pretty much just Sonya and Shakira for both games. Kiki in the first game, but it was just those two, and everybody else kind of, inconsistently chipping in, and obviously it wasn't enough. Get back to not turning the ball over. Defense was, pretty good. It was good enough to win, but they could turn it up a notch as well. But, look, when you're not hitting shots offensively, it impacts your impacts your defense, the way you can get back on defense, especially when you turn the ball over. Both sides of the floor, it impacts the other when you're not efficient, when you're not executing like you should on that end. So that's the reason why you saw with the result that you did down in Las Vegas. Just get back to playing Mystics basketball, man. Look, at this stage, you can't take anybody lightly despite their record. The Sparks are coming off a loss to the Liberty, but they lost by 4. They almost pulled that one out, so they're dangerous. You definitely just can't look at their record and be like, that's going to be a cakewalk, especially for the Mystics, because they need to win. You know what I mean? And they need to get back on the winning side of things. But I think that's all it really is, man. Getting back to playing that game. Keep trying to incorporate Lainey Hamilton. Keep kind of incorporate her into the system, so she could become more and more of a factor as the season winds down, especially in the playoffs, and they can kind of lean on her experience more because she'll have the chemistry with the team and know the system fully and be ready to go. But against the Sparks, you got to look out for 3 things. One, they're number 1 in the WNBA assists per game, 22.1. They move the ball well. That's what I'm saying. You can't really go off the record. Any team that moves the ball well stresses the entire defense. It's not just 1 or 2 players. So every player has to be on the string. It's not just an ISO type of thing, even though, they got players that can get to it individually, which I'm going to touch on a little bit. You got to deal with the whole team. And you know what I mean? So that goes without saying. They have, I know that's going to take a hit because Kelsey, was averaging 6.4 assists when she was there. And since that's gone, Erica Wheeler has to step up and kind of do more, it's assists by committee, so to speak. So that needed adjustment. But with how they pushed the Liberty, you can tell the adjustment is closer to being fully completed than it is with them still trying to figure things out. Next, they're 5th in 3-point attempts. They get up a lot of 3-pointers. You know what I'm saying? Again, I know that's heavily impacted by Kelsey being traded. But with that being said, I don't think they're going to change their strategy too much in the season, especially with them being at the bottom of the standings. And they're going to keep. It's kind of too late to kind of just scrap the whole playbook and just do something new. They just might feel people in that void. And one player that hit the ground running since Kelsey got traded was Ray Burrell, but I'm getting to her in a second. And field goal percentage. They're fourth in the WNBA in field goal percentage. They shoot 46.6% from the field. They're efficient. And that has a lot to do with the Neko Gwumake and De'Erica Hamby. That's a hell of a front line. So, again, we talk about, I posed the question, where would you put Shakira and Kiki, and, as the front court? Well, they're going to get tested today. Gwumake is still playing at a high level, all-star, all WNBA level. Hamby has always been one of the more underrated players in the league, but she's always up there, veteran. So yeah, it's gonna be a back and forth battle, and I think whoever wins that front court battle will determine who wins this game. So they have to show up, and it's not just when Shakira and Kiki go to the bench. They got to win the Shakira, Kiki minutes, man. You know what I mean? They do. You know what I mean? And you start to see more and more teams kind of key in on that, especially when Shakira go to the bench and all that. So they attack Kiki to get her in foul trouble, and then you can't sum up the offense. And the Mystics rely heavily on inside scoring through their front court. Neko Gwumake is averaging 16.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, 3.1 assists on 50, 39, 85 splits. I mean, what else more is there to say? By the way, she's 35. So, yeah, her prime looking like LeBron prime right now. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going. You know what I mean? Like she's playing like she's 25. You know what I mean? De'Erica Hamby averaging 15.3 points, 7.3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.5 steals a game, 56% from the field, and just under 70% from the free throw line. She's not much of a three-point shooter. She take one here and there, but her bread and butter is mid-range and inside. So there you have it. Ray Burrell coming to her own this season, 13.9 points, 2.5 assists, 2.4 rebounds, 45 from the field, 39 from deep, and 80 from the free throw line. So she's their sniper, and she's coming off a monster game against the Liberty. She had 28 points, shot 10 of 19 from the field, 5 of 10 from deep, had 3 rebounds and 3 assists. She's 6'2". She's versatile. She can play the 1, 2, 3, depending on what lineup, some 4. So you got to account for her. You got to get back. You got to watch her. And she's a sniper. So they put her, she's one of the players you got to find. You know what I mean? So you might think she's playing the 2 or 3. She might be in there at the 4. And now, Shakira, Kiki, or Lauren, or, they got it. It's a different type of matchup than somebody running to the block. She running to the 3-point line. So if you turn the ball over, what you think that's going to do is it's going to create a lot of mismatches and cross matches, and they have players that can take advantage of that, man. Erica Wheeler, she's one of those players that can heat up. 9.3 points, 5.4 assists, 2 rebounds a game, and a steal. So you can tell she's kind of took over ball handler duty, so to speak, being a veteran or whatever, knowing how to navigate things. And then, Ariel Atkins, still getting it done, averaging 9 points, 2.9 assists, 3 rebounds. Not shooting the best from the field or 3-point range this year, but 92% from the free throw line. So you got to keep her off the line. Obviously, players are motivated when they're playing against their former team. So, we got to see how it goes, man. And we know how talented Cameron Brink is. So they have players that can make a lot of noise if the Mystics aren't handling business like they should. They come in here looking at the record thinking, all right, we good, man. We could have beat the Aces twice. They're not really a threat. That's just not how this is going to go, man. And you know what I mean? So the Mystics have to, be more efficient. This team loves to get up and down. And I think what the Aces did, they ran on them. You know what I mean? They had a lot of success running on the Mystics and kind of wore them down. And it kind of neutralized some of the inside scoring that they normally will have. So I expect the Sparks to kind of do the same thing. The only difference is that obviously in DC, Mystics home, and with all due respect, the Neck is one of them. Asia, the way Jackie was playing, that was a different animal. So if the Mystics just played their brand of basketball that they were playing coming into the games against the Aces and not beat themselves with the turnovers, they should be fine. But if we're going to see the inconsistencies that we saw in Vegas, it could be a game that they can be in trouble and in danger of losing.
Yeah, I think it's a great point you brought up that regardless of the Spurs record, they just pushed the team that's above the Mystics in the standings in that last loss. Like, pushed them. And then, like you said, I think my biggest thing is just I'm interested to see how they respond. It's been several times this season. They've responded well at times. I definitely want to see how they respond tonight. All these games, again, and I said the last outlook, all these games have added weight now. Coming off of those, the games were heavy going into Vegas. They're heavier coming out of Vegas because of how things transpired in Vegas. So, right or wrong, that's just what it is. They can't afford to drop this game against the Sparks this evening. That's just a cold hard fact. So we'll see how things go. Cardell gave you guys the keys to the game. Enjoy the game, and we'll check in with y'all afterwards for Mystics Outlook.